Villains used to be evil. We knew who the bad guy was, and their agenda was clear. They were out to steal, kill, and destroy goodness. But today, villains are often watered down or sanitized. The bad guy is misunderstood or seen as the victim of tragic circumstances. But evil has not disappeared just because we have sanitized the villain. We've just stopped believing in evil. This is not just about fairy tales. This is about life itself. And when we can't name the enemy in our story, then our strength is neutralized. And we often become very confused in how to interpret the story that we're in. I know many times myself, in starting and building my private practice, I was often discouraged and wondered if I had what it took. But in light of spiritual warfare, I was reminded that this is not just about my own personal failings, but that there's evil out there that's seeking to hold me back, that's seeking to stop me from doing the work that God has called me to do. And when I remember this, that now encourages me to continue doing the work that God has called me to do and not let discouragement or my own self-esteem then take me out. But to effectively engage in the spiritual warfare, we must remember that evil is real. It is a force that's deeper than our childhood wounds, and it's more sinister than our psychological dysfunctions. Evil is hell-bent on destroying life and goodness. It is darkness. It is not light. And while we're called to love everyone, there's a difference between eating with the tax collectors and sinners and fellowshipping with darkness. And lightness, the kingdom of light, has no fellowship with the kingdom of darkness. And naming this darkness for what it is helps to clarify our mission, that our battle is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness in the heavenly realms. And so when we face opposition, we don't have to assume that it's just our own personal shortcomings that are getting in the way, that we have evil, an enemy who's seeking to take us out. And this might be especially true in marriage as well, that sometimes we think that maybe we're blowing it in marriage, that we're facing the hardships that we are, or that our wife is not dealing with her issues, and that's why we're facing the issues that we are. And there's some truth there that, yes, we bring our own baggage into the marriage, but we also have an enemy who's seeking to take out the oneness that our marriage represents. And without this framework, without understanding the role of the villain, the role of evil in our story, we assume that the issue is just between the two of us. This is not to deny our own personal shortcomings and the baggage of our story, our personal struggles with sin, but it is to remember that our story includes an enemy who's seeking to steal, kill, and destroy the goodness that Christ has come to give us, that we're in the enemy's crosshairs, and if we don't remember this and resist him, then the enemy is going to take us out, and we will miss the life that Christ has come to give us. And evil is not an enemy to bargain with. That's like trying to tame a wild lion by petting it and hoping it becomes a kitten. That's not how reality works, and that's not how evil works. Evil is not something to be tamed. It is something to be named and resisted. But it's for such a time as this that God has placed us in a story. The hour is late and our strength is needed. And so it's time for us to rise, to recognize the war, to initiate resistance, to sacrifice our comfort, and to enjoy the victory that comes through God's kingdom of light. Now's not the time for us to shrink back or to play it safe. Now's the time for us to fight the good fight and to bring more life where darkness has tried to take a hold. If this resonates with you, then like and subscribe and share it with other men who need this reminder as well. In the meantime, if evil has tried to take you out in your role as a father by trying to use your past sins against you, check out this next video. Our past sins come with consequences. It does not disqualify us from our role as father. Check that out here.